A.C. Bradley's The Substance of Shakespearean Tragedy. Greetings, literature enthusiasts. Welcome back to our educational vlog. Today, we embark on a captivating journey into the world of Shakespearean tragedy, guided by the insightful mind of an eminent literary scholar, a.c.bradley. Get ready to unravel the substance beneath the surface of Shakespeare's timeless works. We delve into the life and intellectual legacy of an eminent English literary scholar, a.c.bradley. Born in 1851 in the picturesque town of Cheltenham, England, Bradley's contributions to literature have left an indelible mark on literary criticism. Bradley's scholarly journey began at Balliol College, Oxford, where he not only received his education but later became a fellow, setting the stage for a remarkable career in academia. In 1904, Bradley reached a pinnacle in his career with the publication of his magnum opus, Shakespearean Tragedy. This work marked a watershed moment in literary criticism, as Bradley introduced a groundbreaking psychological and character-driven approach to understanding Shakespeare's tragedies. Rather than merely examining external events, Bradley's approach illuminated the internal conflicts and tragic flaws of Shakespeare's protagonists, revealing the depth of character portrayals that went beyond surface narratives. But Bradley's analytical prowess wasn't confined to Shakespeare alone. In his work Oxford Lectures on Poetry, 1909, he delved into various poets and poetic forms, showcasing his erudition in the broader literary canon. During his tenure as a professor at Oxford, Bradley played a pivotal role in shaping the academic discourse on English literature. His influence resonates in the corridors of learning to this day. Bradley's emphasis on psychological insight and nuanced character analysis has left a lasting imprint on the study of Shakespeare and the broader field of literary criticism. As we conclude our journey into the life and work of a.c.bradley, it becomes evident that his intellectual contributions have stood the test of time, enriching the world of literature and inspiring scholars for generations to come. Questions to be considered. We embark on a journey guided by the inquisitive mind of A.C. Bradley, seeking to unravel the very substance that transcends the forms and differences within Shakespeare's tragic works. Let's explore the few questions to be addressed before dealing much more with the lectures of A.C. Bradley. Our first question: what is the substance of a Shakespearean tragedy when we strip away its form and consider the differences between one tragedy and another? Bradley, in his meticulous analysis, delves deep into the essence that ties these timeless tales together. As we ponder the tragic aspect of life as represented by Shakespeare, Bradley invites us to explore the very nature of this representation. How does Shakespeare, through his tragedies, illuminate the profound and often somber aspects of the human experience? Bradley prompts us to consider the general facts revealed in each tragedy. What overarching truths about human nature, morality, and the complexities of existence does Shakespeare unveil through his masterful storytelling? And now, the crux of the matter: what is Shakespeare's tragic conception, or his overarching view of tragedy? Bradley's penetrating analysis takes us to the core of Shakespeare's understanding of the human condition and the inevitability of tragic events. As we conclude this exploration into the profound questions posed by A.C. Bradley, we find ourselves on the threshold of understanding the timeless substance that weaves through the fabric of Shakespearean tragedy. Much like Aristotle and Corella, Shakespeare too had a theory of tragedy. Shakespeare, a literary giant, didn't just pen stories, he crafted a theory of tragedy that resonates through the ages. Much like his predecessors, his writings represent tragedy as a certain aspect of life, and today, we aim to unveil the intricacies of his unique perspective. Substance of Shakespearean Tragedy. To understand the substance of Shakespearean tragedy, we turn our gaze to his writings. Each play, a tapestry of emotions, reveals profound insights into the human experience. Through meticulous examination, we aim to extract the essence that unites these timeless tales. Shakespeare's conception of tragedy. But what was Shakespeare's conception of tragedy? How did he envision this dramatic form? His theory goes beyond the theatrical stage, offering us a glimpse into his profound understanding of the complexities of the human condition. Let's unravel the layers of his artistic conception. Shakespeare's view of the tragic fact. Shakespeare's view of the tragic fact is a captivating exploration. Through his words, he paints a vivid picture of life's darker shades. The tragedies he penned are not mere stories, they are reflections of the unavoidable, the inevitable, and the sometimes harsh realities of existence. As we journey through the pages of his works, we will scrutinize his characters, dissect his narratives, and unveil the threads that bind tragedy to the very fabric of life. In the exploration of Shakespeare's theory of tragedy, we are poised to unravel the timeless essence he embedded in his writings. Stay tuned as we navigate the intricate tapestry of literature, seeking to understand not just what Shakespeare wrote, but the profound philosophy that underlines his enduring legacy. The hero and heroine dynamic. In Shakespearean tragedy, the spotlight often shines on one or two central figures, the hero or the hero and heroine. Take, for instance, the timeless tales of Romeo and Juliet or Antony and Cleopatra, where the heroines command as much attention and action as their heroic counterparts. Death of the hero. The predominant aspect of Shakespeare's tragedies lies in the death of the hero. The narrative unfolds, depicting the troubled path leading to this inevitable end. Shakespeare's tragedies are not mere tales of misfortune. They are profound stories of suffering and calamity culminating in the poignant act of death. Pity as a tragic emotion. Pity, a chief source of tragic emotions, holds a special place in Shakespearean tragedy. Yet, it is not a uniform emotion. Consider King Lear, where pity is chiefly directed towards the hero, and contrast that with Macbeth, where it extends primarily to minor characters. The dynamics of pity shape the emotional landscape of Shakespeare's tragedies. Tragedy to the medieval mind versus Shakespeare. A crucial distinction arises when comparing the medieval understanding of tragedy to Shakespeare's expansive vision. In the medieval mind, tragedy was a narrative, often derived from the likes of Dante or Chaucer. A reversal of fortune for one, standing in high degree, was tragic. Shakespeare, however, transcends this concept. Shakespeare's tragedies always involve individuals of high degree, kings, princes, leaders, or members of great houses. From kings like Brutus and Antony to a general of the Republic like Othello, and even members of great houses like Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare's canvas spans the spectrum of social hierarchy. The pangs of despised love and the anguish of remorse resonate alike in a peasant and a prince. However, the fate of a prince extends beyond personal suffering. It reverberates, affecting the welfare of an entire nation or empire. In the world of Shakespeare, calamities don't simply happen, they unfold as a consequence of human actions, an intricate sequence leading inevitably to a catastrophic end. At the heart of Shakespearean tragedy lies the intricate relationship between action and character. The calamities proceed not randomly but emerge organically from the actions of men, each deed setting off a chain reaction that inexorably leads to a tragic catastrophe. Let's delve into three additional factors that shape the narrative beyond the conventional story or action in Shakespearean tragedy. Abnormal conditions of mind. The first factor, abnormal conditions of mind. Madness, sleepwalking, hallucinations, these are not mere deeds but expressions of character. Consider Lady Macbeth's haunting sleepwalking. Though it doesn't alter subsequent events, it is a vivid manifestation of the guilt gnawing at her character. Supernatural elements. Moving to the second factor, supernatural elements. Ghosts, witches, they are illusions in the minds of characters, giving form to inward struggles. For instance, Brutus grapples with a sense of failure, Richard battles a stifled conscience, and Macbeth confronts the horrified memory of guilt. chance or accident. Lastly, the unpredictable, chance or accident. This element, neither from characters nor surrounding circumstances, weaves into the dramatic sequence. Romeo missing Friar's message, Edgar arriving too late, Desdemona dropping her handkerchief. These seemingly random occurrences become crucial turning points, marking the hand of fate. Conflict. We delve into the intricate layers of conflict in Shakespearean tragedies, where the very essence of drama unfolds in the clash between individuals, parties, and forces, both external and internal. Conflict between persons or groups. In Shakespeare's tragedies, conflict takes shape in the interplay between two individuals, often with the hero at the epicenter, or between parties where the hero emerges as the leading figure. For instance, the love of Romeo and Juliet contends with the deep-seated hatred between their houses, represented by various characters. Similarly, in Julius Caesar, Brutus and Cassius cause clashes with that of Julius, Octavius, and Antony. The conflict is vividly portrayed in the opposing forces of Richard II and Bolingbroke. Conflict of forces within the hero's soul. Yet, the true depth of conflict transcends the external battles. In Shakespeare's later tragedies, the spotlight shifts to the inward struggle within the hero's soul. This is where the term spiritual force finds its resonance, a force that animates, shakes, and possesses the very core of a character's being. Example of inner conflict and outer conflict. Treasonous ambition in Macbeth collides with loyalty and patriotism in Macduff and Malcolm. Here is the outward conflict. But these powers or principles equally collide in the soul of Macbeth himself. Here is the inner conflict. Shakespeare's tragic hero. We venture into the realm of Shakespearean tragedy, exploring the exceptional nature of his tragic heroes. These characters, marked by distinctive traits, embody the very essence of greatness and fatal flaws. Fundamental tragic traits. At the core of Shakespeare's tragic heroes lie fundamental traits, marked one-sidedness, a predisposition in a particular direction, a total incapacity in certain circumstances, and a fatal tendency to become wholly consumed by one interest, object, passion, or habit of mind. For instance, Hamlet grapples with the painful consciousness of neglecting duty, while Antony in Antony and Cleopatra is acutely aware of pursuing the worst of two courses. Richard III and Macbeth stand as unique heroes who consciously engage in villainous deeds, recognizing the moral wrongness of their actions. Tragic era and consciousness. The tragic era, the pivot of Shakespearean tragedy, often involves no conscious breach of right. However, in some instances, it is accompanied by a full conviction of right. Hamlet's painful consciousness and Antony's clear knowledge exemplify the internal conflict that accompanies these tragic eras. Sympathy for tragic heroes. Remarkably, Shakespearean tragic heroes, despite their errors, win our sympathy. Their struggles force us to confront the mystery of their greatness, oppressed, conflicted, and ultimately destroyed. Tragedy, in its essence, becomes a form of mystery, compelling readers and spectators to vividly realize the worth of that which is tragically wasted. The final questions of this lecture, Substance of Shakespearean Tragedy, are: in this tragic realm, where individuals, despite their greatness, are not the ultimate power, we find ourselves compelled to answer questions that elude religious language. What, then, is this power that governs the fate of Shakespeare's characters? Shakespeare's tragic fact. Shakespeare's tragic fact, devoid of explicit theological influences, presents us with a piteous, fearful, and mysterious spectacle of suffering. Yet, unlike a fate that is either malicious or indifferent, this representation doesn't leave us crushed, rebellious, or desperate. Shakespeare's tragic views are twofold. On one hand, there's the unbroken connection of character, will, deed, and catastrophe, a narrative where individuals, in pursuit of their ideas, become unwitting instruments of a design not their own. On the other, the pressure of outward forces, blind struggles, and the sway of accident, where they become mere victims, bound by a power indifferent to their intentions. Consider Brutus, who schemes for his country's good but brings misery and death. Iago, entangled in the web spins for others. Lear, driven by a whimsical whim, unleashes the powers of darkness upon himself. Othello, tormented by an empty fiction, becomes the butcher of innocence and love. Lady Macbeth, envisioning unthinkable deeds, is haunted by the smell of a stranger's blood. In this tragic world, man's thoughts are translated into actions that undergo a profound transformation, actions that become the opposite of their intended purpose. It strongly suggests the idea of fate, a force that shapes the consequences of human actions. Catastrophe. Our exploration delves into the heart of Shakespearean tragedy, where fate and human actions intertwine, leading to catastrophe. A crucial distinction arises as we examine the concepts of poetic justice and Shakespeare's nuanced portrayal of life. Though fate is often cited as the reason behind the tragedy, the focal point remains human actions, the central fact that propels the narrative towards catastrophe. A distinction emerges as Bradley illuminates the contrast between poetic justice and the stark reality depicted in Shakespeare's tragic world. Poetic justice, the notion that prosperity and adversity align with the merits of the agents, stands in stark contradiction with life's complex realities. Shakespeare's tragic canvas does not adhere to a simple assignment of happiness and misery, life and death based on merit. Bradley contends that terms like justice and merit are misplaced in the tragic context. Instead, he urges us to recognize the profound connection between actions and their consequences. It is a mistake, he asserts, to claim that individuals get what they deserve solely based on notions of justice and merit. For instance, while we might agree that Lear deserves to suffer for his folly, selfishness, and tyranny, asserting that he deserved the extent of his suffering is a violation not only of language but also of a healthy moral sense. In the immersive world of tragedy, our perceptions transcend judgment. Emotions like attraction, repulsion, pity, wonder, fear, and even hatred arise, but judgment remains suspended. Bradley argues that in tragedy, we feel rather than assess. The ultimate power or order, Bradley asserts, is moral. It doesn't showcase indifference to good or evil, favor or disfavor. Instead, it aligns with the good and distances itself from evil. In Shakespearean tragedy, the convulsion leading to suffering and death never emanates from the good. Examples abound, such as the love of Romeo and Juliet succumbing to the senseless hatred of their houses, or the guilty ambition in Macbeth opening the tragic action. Even the innocent hero, Bradley, harbors marked imperfections or defects. These flaws decisively contribute to the conflict and catastrophe. When the evil within the hero overpowers the good, it becomes a destructive force, not only for others but also for the hero himself. A.c. Bradley's The Substance of Shakespearean Tragedy, a critical masterpiece that unravels the intricate layers of Shakespeare's tragic world. In this seminal work, Bradley passionately asserts that Shakespeare's tragedies transcend mere tales of sorrow. They are profound examinations of the human condition. Central to Bradley's argument is the concept of substance, the rich and intricate exploration of human character and experience that defines Shakespearean tragedy. Bradley challenges the notion that Shakespeare's characters are mere symbols. Instead, he contends that they are fully fleshed out individuals, each possessing a depth of inner life that is intricately portrayed. Through this lens, Shakespeare's tragedies become not just narratives but profound reflections on the complexities of the human psyche. In Bradley's view, Shakespeare's tragedies serve as mirrors reflecting the entire spectrum of human experience. From the soaring heights of love and happiness to the profound depths of despair and madness, these works become a comprehensive canvas portraying the multifaceted nature of our shared humanity. Bradley's The Substance of Shakespearean Tragedy stands as a cornerstone in the realm of Shakespearean criticism. By accentuating the depth and complexity within these works, Bradley invites readers to engage with Shakespeare in a more profound and meaningful way. As we conclude this chapter of exploration, let Bradley's insights resonate. Dive into Shakespeare's tragedies not as mere stories but as profound reflections on the human soul. Join me in future explorations as we continue our journey through the vast landscape of literary wonders. Until then, happy reading and happy exploring.